Productionz, the cultural preservation station. Tune in. Tune in. Hey yo. Black education, cultural preservation. Tailor BTV, but cause elevation. Tune into the station, we rockin' the whole nation. That's right, we rockin' the whole nation. Prep the new generation for mental activation. Tailor BTV's the new sensation. Stop the hesitation and learn something new. My girl Taylor B's here to show and prove.
Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love to the family. I am so happy to be coming live to you guys tonight. This is a special episode of Justice on Earth. We know we are in February, which means it's Foundational Black American History Month. So this is a special time for us around here on BTV, where obviously we kick things up a notch and we're making sure that we're bringing you a lot of stories of different things about our culture and our history. So if you're not familiar with the channel, I am Queen B. This is BTV. This is Black Education Empowers True Vision. I am a foundational Black American who is proud of our delineation. I'm proud of our people. I'm proud of everything we do. We came a long way. We still got a long way to go, but we are the bag. We are Black American greats, and we're going to continue to be Black American greats. And this show is no different. We're bringing you tonight some good information and some good updates from the Buy Our Blood Super PAC, which we know is the Foundational Black American Super PAC. We're going to be talking about the 100th anniversary of Black History Month. So you guys, 100 years of Black History Month. We know obviously our lineage goes back way further than 100 years. But it's been 100 years since Black History Month became actually officially Black History Month, because it was I guess Black History Week did start in 1926. So they're starting it from when Carter G. Woodson started Black History Week in 1926. It's 2026, baby. And look at us. We're here. We've delineated. We still rise. They cannot stop the family. So we're coming in strong tonight. So without further ado, let me and family, bear with us tonight. Bear with us tonight, because you know my computer is a little on the fritz. So if we freeze up, just hang in there. It's all going to work out. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get our guest up on the stage. I'm so proud to know this woman. She does a lot of great work for the family, and we're proud to have her here. So without further ado, let me welcome Miss Brooke Sinclair to the stage, to BTV. Welcome back, Queen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know. I don't have any. I should have had like the bees ready, or like a bomb ready, your name or something, or something, but I didn't have it ready, so it's okay. So I thank you for being thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for coming back. And first of all, how are you doing, and how have you been since the last time we did a show, which it's been a while?
It's been a while. I think at least maybe a year, maybe 6 months since we did a show. I've been really good. Busy, of course. But really good, blessed, and highly favored.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All of us are. And I want to really just emphasize this because, like I said, it's 2026. And the show tonight, we're talking about the highlights, the accomplishments, the anniversary of 100 years of recognizing Black history, and really recognizing it from a place of delineation, right? Because, a lot of people can like tag on to things we do. And for the most part, we don't really even mind. We don't mind sharing things with people, but it comes to a point where people get disrespectful. Well, I'm building that up. It gets to a point where, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're very open with our culture, but it gets to a point where people get disrespectful, and then they come in and they try to, extend their welcome, extend their stay, and basically try to take over things and kind of erase our contributions. And that's really what this whole delineation business is about. That's why we've done it. So
Yep.
just give me, your view on that and our 100 years of Black history, and how you view the trajectory of where we are right now. It's 2026 and we've delineated. So tell us how you feel about that and what your thoughts are about that.
Yes. Well, before I go into that, let me also apologize for technical difficulties. So I forgot that my laptop video cam is out, and so I am also technically challenged today. So I'm on
You
my
know
cell
what?
phone.
That's
So
the statement. It's 2026 and we're still having technical difficulties.
you know what? But that's the FBA way. If it ain't, if it's not working one way, we'll make it happen another way.
That's right.
And
We get it working. That's right.
right, keep it on,
Yeah.
keep it, and the beat goes on, as they say.
That's right.
As far as this outlook, this is amazing time. This February in particular, we really wanted to make sure to highlight some of the accomplishments that the Black Americans have done over the past year, going into this centennial celebration of our 100 years of recognizing our talents and innovations. And so there's some really amazing things that FBA or Freedmen are a part of, or the reason for, that many people may not understand. There's a list of accomplishments that need to be in our name, and we need to be the ones to write those stories for history.
I love that you said that. I really do, because it's so true. And a lot of the stuff that I kind of talk about with the 7D cultural ascension principles talks about that. It talks about going from that dormant phase to get into that deployment phase. And in between that, you have delineation, which is the first step. The first step is delineate, because if you don't delineate and set yourself apart from others, how can you then either state what you deserve, state what's owed to you, because then you have so many people that can kind of take claim to it. So that delineation is important. And then what you just said, we are highlighting the accomplishments, documenting those accomplishments. That documentation is such a heavy thing, because in our community all the time in the past, we haven't always been the best at documenting things, and been the best at documenting the things that we did create. And that's a part of the reason why a lot of stuff is able to get stolen. So we got to make sure that we're doing that. We got to make sure that we're documenting things that we created, things that we were instrumental, like policies, if we're instrumental in getting those policies passed, and the reasons why we got those policies passed. Because when we don't look at that stuff, then it becomes free game for everybody, all minorities or these persons of color, what they like to call them. It becomes a grab bag for everyone else to be like, oh, a minority. Oh, I'm a minority. Oh, I'm a person of color. And then that's what allows others to be able to take and latch onto the things that we have done. And then what that essentially does is we end up getting pushed out of it, and we end up not even getting the resource that we solidify for ourselves. It ends up being spread across to everyone else, and then we're left in the dust. So that documentation is so key, it's so important. Hell, that's part of the reason why when hip hop had its 50th anniversary, people were able to say, oh, this culture created hip hop, or oh, this, no, they didn't. And one
Or
other
we were in the room.
yeah, and
Who
one
cares
other thing I want,
room?
being in the room don't qualify you. But the other thing I want to say about documentation is that documentation is so important, because listen, that's how we got to where we are now, because people were documenting and we weren't. You see? You see? So people were making documents and documenting this, and not saying they was telling the truth in the documents, but they was making documentation nonetheless. And that documentation, a lot of it pushed us out of our heritage. It pushed us out of the tangible things that some of our ancestors fought for, with the civil rights movement and all that kind of stuff. It pushed us away from it, because it brought in the language. Instead of saying, if we would have had foundational Black American, then we could have said, hey, this is just for foundational Black Americans, right? We didn't have that delineation then. So it became minorities, it became people of color, and that's how we get pushed out. So that's why delineation is important, you guys. that's why we have to say who we are and stand 10 toes down on who we are and who we say we are.
You know what? Let me tag on to that, because to really understand that, although some groups might have been enslaved or inconvenienced in the 18, maybe 17, 1800s, we were enslaved, and there were about 5 million emancipated slaves in 1863. So there should be 100 million of us, according to artificial intelligence. They said that there should have been 100 million descendants in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 billion Asians, 2 billion Latinos, and 2 billion Africans.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they need 2.468 billion people need what us little 50 million, 60 million have?
Right.
Even if we were 100 million, you're billions compared to our little, like, boop.
Right.
It's illogical for the United States, and it's illogical for people in the United States like us, foundational Black Americans, to even let them continue on with the mathematical narrative that everybody can come. The Earth's population is now 10 billion people. 10 billion people cannot fit in the United States.
Right. And I think it's, it's worth saying something that, like, the invitation that these people get to come here is, and this is going back, years or whatever. This is the land of milk and honey. This is the land where you can come get your opportunities met. You can come, your dreams can come true here. But why? What are the reasons that people can come here and get their opportunities met? What are the reasons that people can come here and make their dreams come true? And whose back are they doing that off of? See, this is the part that doesn't get talked about.
Well, it's getting talked about now.
Yes, it is.
Because let me tell you, the reason and that's why we had to come here today to celebrate this incredible news, and we had to celebrate this incredible delineation that's happening, because it's not just delineation happening here in the United States domestically. We've delineated globally. So this is one of our most important. I guess maybe I should have left this for the last part, but it's so exciting. It's huge news.
Mhm.
So the United States, the Black American Negro descendants, the citizens with freedmen status, submitted evidence of genocide against the United Nations and the World Health Organization in January 2025. So when Trump announced that the United States has officially withdrawn funding and association and partnership with the United Nations and the World Health Organization, then all FBAs need to come dust some shoulder, dust the haters off, because that's us. We did that.
So talk about that a little more, Queen, because I know the last time you were on the program, we talked extensively about the ICC, the International Crimes Court. We talked extensively about how you can, submit your story, submit your grievance with this crimes court. So if you guys didn't see that episode, make sure you go back and watch that episode. At the end of this, I will link it in here. So we talked about how we could do that. So I want to, first of all, because there was so much you said in that statement, so I gotta walk it back a little bit. I gotta rewind that a little bit. So first thing before we get into that part of it, talk to me about freedmen status. talk to me about how people can basically identify themselves as having a freedman status.
Excellent question. Okay, so in my background, my ancestors fought in the the Revolutionary War of 1776, the War of
Hmm.
1812, and then the
Hmm.
Civil War.
Hmm.
So after the Civil War, those veterans they created the Freedmen's Bank, right? And the Freedmen's Bureau, which
Hmm.
most people are familiar of. So that status or that namesake is actually a status. It turns out it's a government status, like the same way immigrant is a status,
Hmm.
freedman is a status.
Okay.
So that freedman status supersedes immigrant status.
Hmm.
The non-immigrant freedman status supersedes immigrants and immigrant status. So if you can find a member of the colored Union soldiers, so either the Army or the Navy,
Hmm.
then you are a freedman. You should do some digging. You might have had money in the Freedmen's Bank. You
Hmm.
might have records in the Freedmen's Bureau. And your ancestors are one of the 250,000, I think they said, 300,000 soldiers, colored Union soldiers. That's
Okay.
all.
Okay. So basically, if you can trace your family back to those Union soldiers, those were the people who kind of like established the freedman status. But looking at it from a more wider point of view, so those freedmen were the one who established it, but pretty much anyone is us that were enslaved in America at that time could be um, you know stated as being a freedman, right?
Yes.
So we had the Freedmen's Bureau, we had the Freedmen's Bank, and we know through some of that history that when some of the people from the dominant society got involved with the Freedmen's Bank, they made some bad investments. They did some funny business with the money, and it made the bank crumble. It
And
made the
then,
bureau. The bureau ended up crumbling, and then we kind of went away from that freedman status in a way. And I don't
mhm.
want to get too much deep into the way that history happened, but what I want to say is there a way to officially identify yourself, like right now, like how if you were to go get your driver's license, they're going to say, well, you're an African American, is there a way to
Mm.
say, of a freedman status? Like, how would we use it and how would we be able to actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where is it
Um,
documented? Like, how could we do it, or is there a way for us to do that?
there is it's kind of an informal way that has to become a formal way. It's ironically, in order to activate your freedman status,
Mhm.
it's kind of an appeals sort of situation, because the immigrants who keep saying that they built this nation, who run
Mhm.
this nation, they don't want us to be able to access our freedman status. So freedman status means preferential treatment. It's not
Mhm.
equality.
Mhm.
It's exclusivity and solidarity with the commitment of the federal government before the Irish immigrants. And I'm going to keep saying immigrants only because they keep saying that immigrants built this nation. And so for the 100-year anniversary, we are going to talk about what exactly immigrants did contribute to this nation. And so I don't want to sound anti-immigrant, even though it is. But just to let people know, there is going to be a point.
Listen, we got to talk about it, and this is the things that we have to discuss. They may people not may not like it. They may not agree with it. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. But what's important for us as foundational Black Americans, it's important for us to have these discussions. It's important for us to bring this stuff to the forefront, because at the end of the day, these other groups can try to claim that they built this country, but they know that we built this country. And if it wasn't for the direct work that we did, they wouldn't even be allowed to enter the country. You know, because there was a act in 1924 that prohibited anyone that had any type of melanin in their skin to come to this country. So they were prohibited from coming here. So that gets thrown out the window to say you built the country. But what happens is, see, it's almost like they're cosplaying us, but they're only cosplaying us in the way that it's good for the tangibles. Like they're cosplaying for tangible benefits. They're cosplaying for resources, for the loans that we worked for to get set aside to start businesses and stuff like that. They use that status and that, oh, I'm a minority status when it comes time for them to get that kind of stuff. So, you know, we really got to watch it. We got to watch it. And from our point of view, why I'm saying it's important for us to discuss it is because when we don't discuss it, it almost seems like we're okay with it, like we're going along with it, and we're not okay with it. And for too long in this country, Black Americans have had to sit aside and just not be okay with things and just have to shut the hell up about it. But this is 2026. And I'm telling you, like we all know, none of us are being quiet about these things anymore. We're tired of people. We're tired of people just like telling us what the hell we're doing and like putting us in a box or putting us to the side and then thinking we're just going to stay there. Like that has to end. That day is over now, and that's why the delineation is here, and that's why we're documenting, and that's why we're documenting. So I think that's really important to point out. And talk to me now, I guess, about more about the freedmen status, because you said once we take that back, then we can get protected benefits. So talk a little bit about what you mean by that and what we can kind of do to invoke that, because a lot of our people are hurting right now.
Yes. A lot of our people are hurting right now. And so there are some immediate things that we have access to that would, in a way, classify as a reparative. I'm not going to say the official R word, as a reparative measure. But for right now, so you can activate freedman status by applying for SNAP. So once you apply for SNAP, you're going to obviously get rejected, right? That's normal. And then once you get rejected, you file an appeal and you let them know that you're a freedman, and you write a complaint to the, I believe it's the HHSC.
HHS. I think it's HHS, Human Services, Health of Human of Health Human Services or something like that.
Something like that. That one. Yep.
Yeah.
And then and the US Department of Agriculture, the USDA. And let them know that you're a freedman and that you have freedman status, and then you will get the SNAP benefits, or you will get the Social Security disability thing, or you can get Medicaid buy-in program. Any government federal program that you need. I've seen children get scholarships for school. Anything that you want, you now have freedman status. In 2026, you can activate your freedman status. You can enforce the people who are running the SNAP offices, who, by their own admittance, they say that they're immigrants, right? Every time I get a letter back from somebody in a Texas Department of SNAP, it's a Ramirez, Gutierrez. So you're going to have to force them to answer to the white man, basically. It's kind of like you have to tattle on them to the U.S. Department of, since they only really respect the white man, right? We have to tattle on them and tell the USDA that the Texas people won't give us our SNAP, and then they'll force them, and then you'll get it.
So, I mean, I think this is really important, you guys. I think this is important, and it's really going along with a lot of the other things that are happening simultaneously within our culture. A lot of different movements going on to push our delineation, to push
Mm-hmm.
our language, right? Our
Mm-hmm.
language of foundational Black Americans, freedmen status. And I think what's important about that is right now it's really starting to spread. Um, those things are really starting to spread mainstream. And what's so funny about that is, you know, we have the power. I mean, we've always had the power, but right now, you guys, so many different things are happening, and we're on such a precipice. And let me tell you, everything that's going on politically is starting to crumble. A lot of their little political pacts are crumbling, their little agreements and stuff that they had, and people are biting at the nip for the next big thing, right? They're looking for
What?
that next thing that they can kind of, because these politicians ain't shit. We know they want to just grab a hold of anything that they think is popular, that they think that can get them some votes. So that's what they'll back. So
Right.
these people are biting at the chomp to find that next big thing. So now they see, first of all, they know how powerful our culture is. You know what I mean? They know that our culture runs the world. So they see and they're looking at our grassroots movement. They look at the grassroots. They look to us to see, what are they talking about? What are they doing? This is
Mm-hmm.
why the family, this is why y'all see on ABC News, they had the Foundational Black American segment with the history, even though they took it down, but that's even powerful. So we can get into
Right.
that. You got Ann Coulter. She's a Republican conservative pundit who always vehemently speaks out against the political scope. She speaks out against immigrants coming in, taking foundational Black Americans, tangible resources that we fought, that our ancestors died to make sure that we had. She always speaks up about it, right? She's always speaking up about that. And I actually have a clip up on my shorts where she said foundational Black American. And I'm like,
It's
they're
catching
listening.
on.
You know why? Because, like I said, they listen to us, family. They're
Yeah.
watching us because they know that we are the power source of this country. Not just the
Well,
country of the globe, but definitely of the country. Because you know why? Because this is our country. We were here when the slave ships got here. We are the ones that they found on the shores, and you can go read their own diaries, and they'll tell you that we're the ones that they found.
yeah.
So now that they can't keep the lie up no more, they're scrambling. Like since we're waking up, everyone's scrambling now.
Yeah.
So even Tucker Carlson was saying foundational Black America. So it's getting out there into the mainstream. So tell me,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, what do you think about that? And how did you feel about the ABC News when you saw that? How did that make you feel? Because I'm not going to speak for us. I'm gonna let you answer that. But I know I'm speaking for all foundational Black Americans when I say this. When we saw that on ABC News, all of us went off. Okay, all of us went off. The thing got like 50,000 views in the first 2 hours. Now they
That's
took it
all.
down, but imagine if they would have left that up. That thing would have been so viral by now. It would have been crazy. Like we
Three
all would have.
times the first night myself.
Yeah,
So
I was like, are these? I was like, is it real? Because at first I'm like, is this real? Like, or is it like an AI thing? And then when I
mm-hmm.
seen it was, I'm like, yo, ABC News, like they know that we call ourselves foundational Black Americans, like they're on to us, and it was like so gratifying, I think, to me. But how did it make you feel?
Oh, it's same gratifying, proud.
Yeah.
It's like when your baby takes the first steps, or you're like, oh, it's my baby's all grown up now.
No, but it really was because like I said, like we all know what we've been through. Like we've been through so much.
Mhm.
Like you were talking about your grandparents and like how they fought in all the wars, mine too, so like we all have these collective stories of our culture, our traditions, our values, our morals, um, just us standing on business. When we want something, we can get it. You know, and of course, we know so much has been done to us as collectively as a people. Of course, you know, like I said, a lot of us are hurting right now. A lot of us are in a bad way, but collectively, our hearts, we have the biggest hearts of any ethnicity, of any nationality. And
We
it just
did.
shows, yeah, we did. But you know what we're doing now? We still have the biggest heart, but guess what we're doing with our heart now?
Mm.
Now we're guarding our heart.
Yep.
That's right. We put a guard dog up.
My heart's over here, but yeah.
Yeah. And we put a guard dog up because people was taking our heart, crushing it, stepping on it, and throwing it out to dry, and then coming back and making fun of us on top of that. And, you know, being nasty and very mean spirited to us. And
Right.
for over 500 years, just in this country, you know, alone, talking about the history here, our people have endured such hate, such mean spiritedness, not even just from the dominant society, but from the immigrants that come here, from people around the African diaspora who they claim are supposed to be family to us. So we have dealt with a lot of the vitriol and the hate, and we have taken it, and we have taken it, and we have taken it. And listen, we still take it, but don't get mad when we dish it back to you. And this is what's happening, right?
We are dishing it back. Yeah. Yeah.
We're dishing it back, and I don't think they can handle it.
They obviously cannot. And not only are we dishing it back, but self-preservation first. The season to hold your own nuts has been immensely powerful. We've withdrawn our energy from people who keep telling us that immigrants built this nation. And so I just want to kind of reestablish a timeline so the audience can understand that in 1863, so if this is 2006, no, excuse me, let's go back. So 1926 is when Black History Week, Negro History Week began. So we're here to celebrate 100 years of us trying to celebrate ourselves, which it turns out, now we know looking back, we invented everything before 1926. So by the time 1926 came around, we were like, hey, we built
need
a lot
to document this, right? Listen, in 1926, we was like, hold up, all this shit we did, we need something to talk about all this good stuff we did here.
Right.
Now, not to cut your wisdom, but let me insert another date there, because you just said, I love what you just said and how you said that. In 1926, we had to stop and look around and say, well, damn it.
We made that. We made that. We made that.
Yeah. We need something to document it, right? So we can think about this. Now, let me give you another date, because I already said the date. In 1924, 2 years before Dr. Carter Woodson said we need a week to celebrate our accomplishments because no one's celebrating our accomplishments. 2 years before that, this United States government made a policy, an act to keep melanated people out of the country. It was an immigration act to keep melanated people out of the country. The act was meant to bring more Europeans into the country. This was 2 years before we even said we need to document what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So that should go to tell you right there, family, immigrants could not have built this country. There's no way immigrants could have built this country if they, how could they build it when we had already built half the stuff that they claim they built way before they even was allowed to come here? And tell me how that makes sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't. You know it doesn't.
And I think when they say they built a country, I guess they're talking about like them coming here and like opening businesses. I guess this, and I don't know because I'm not them, but I'm assuming that this is what they mean by this. they come here, they open businesses, they do this and they do that. But to me, that's not building the country, because you're sending half of that money back home to your home country. First of all, the money's
Yeah,
not
no,
staying in the economy here. So if even if it does stay in the economy here, you're keeping it in your own enclave of that faction, or you're sending it back to the homeland. So how are you helping even the economy?
you're not. You're helping to colonize, because literally a settler, the exact definition of a settler is someone sent from a country, like a scout, right? You come here, you take some resources, money, and you send it back home, and that's a colonizer.
Right.
That's a settler.
So that's basically what they are. So I don't even think we should even be calling them immigrants.
I mean, but for right now, for today's show, we'll call them immigrants, just for we don't want to confuse them too much.
That's right. We can't go too far down the rabbit hole with them.
No, not too far. But yeah, so the talking about the immigrants and the nation, the immigrants built this nation, or the nation of immigrants. So that's something that the Ellis Island Europeans came up with. That they're the ones, JFK, an Irish Ellis Island European. He was approached by the Anti-Defamation League, people who wear small hats on Saturdays, and the Ellis Island Europeans came together to create a narrative spin, right? They said, hey, we want to make all this colonization and everything that we've done, all this destruction, because don't forget 1926, oh, I almost forgot to mention 1926, also, quick reminder, is right after Tulsa was bombed.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Tulsa was bombed in 1921.
4 years after Tulsa. Yeah, 4 or 5 years after that.
So then here comes Woodson. He's like, hey, we've been bombed. We've been fighting y'all. Y'all been coming at us. Y'all enslaved us. You won't leave us alone. You won't give us the land. You won't, like, just, So
I'm doing all this shit right now, but go ahead.
At least just give us this week. God damn. We gonna celebrate this.
Can a nigga get a week?
Right? Can I get a week? And they said, go ahead, take your week, nigga. And we was rocking. We was rocking with it. That's all right.
We rocked with it. And you know why? Because we could make, we are the make something from nothing people. So listen, you gave us a week, hell, we turned it into a month. It might be the shortest month, but hell.
Boom.
And then we turned it into 365, because we do this Black History shit every day. You know what I mean? We live it every day.
At that point.
So,
with technology, you can't stop us now.
Right. And I love that. I love the technology now, because I see a lot of the different AI, you know, the brothers are putting together like the AI videos of history, and like putting the real history out there, and making like, and I love to see it. I love to see the AI videos of that. And said that, you know, that this was going to be an era that we, you know, that we're going to become the creators. We're going to, like, all this Hollywood is falling, like the old guard is falling. You know, I talk about that in my spirituality channel. You guys can go follow me over there on Numerlytics. But the old guard is falling away. And the new guard, we're going to be the new guard. So we are the ones that have to make this history. So everything that we're doing now is what our descendants in the future are going to be looking back to us. They're going to be talking about these things that we did. They're going to be talking about the claim that you guys put in the ICC, which I want to get back to the claim that you guys put in the ICC court. So, you know what I mean? Like, this is the work that needs to be done. This is what nation building is, you guys. This is the 70 cultural essential principles in action, documenting, delineating, documenting, having discussions, you know, developing things, developing schools, developing our own hospitals, developing our own buildings, because again, like I said, this delineation can take us a lot further than we could even ever imagine. And we can bring that Black Wall Street back. We can bring back our neighborhoods.
Yes.
And when we do that, I'm telling you, everybody better watch out, because one thing about it, this is our land. One thing about it, a lot of the historians that have done, extensive research about our history, because of all the lies that are told in the schools and through the history curriculums around the world. So a lot of our historians that have done the knowledge, all of them come to the same agreement. And even some of them that aren't our people come to the same agreement that we were here before Christopher Columbus got here in 1492. We were here when they came here. That's the one constant thing that all the historians agree on, that we were here. So people can argue about what we called ourselves originally, who we were originally. You can argue about that to the day is long, because at the end of the day, we may never get to all of that because of how much craziness they have done to us. I don't think y'all realize how much these people have done to us over the course of these 500 years. It only takes 2 generations to forget something. So think about 500 generations. Think about this. So we may never get back to that specific essence, but what we have done is we've taken the power back by delineating, and we've taken the power back by naming ourselves, because we know they have named us 1,000,000 times. They reclassified us how many times?
Every time the wind blows, they think of a new name.
Every time the wind blows, they reclassify us. But this reclassification that we made for ourselves, they can't touch that. And that's why people are mad. That's why they're mad, because they can't touch it. They can't take it away from us. It makes logical sense. It makes historical sense. It makes futuristic sense, in the sense that it can help us with a foundation now that we can now spring ourselves forward and build on that for the future. Because all this other African American, Negro, mulatto, Indian, Moor, Hebrew, I could keep going. I could keep going with the classifications. But when we classify ourselves and we put the tangibles to it, we put to it the criteria. See, you can't, when you do that, you've taken your power back from these people. We took our power back. And they hate it. They mad that we got that power now.
You know what? They do. It literally is like a bug crawling up their skin. But we took our power back, not just on the micro level. I think that's where people hate that we're not just taking it back just on the micro level, on a daily basis, on everyday people that we meet, but we told all the powers of the United Nations, you will no longer be able to eat and drink from the milk and honey of the United States. Your GDPs, if you can't hold up your own GDP, then your country will fail. And you said you're better than us. This is your chance to prove it. So, all of these things that we're seeing now, all of the fraud investigations, that was spearheaded by us. We're the whistleblower on that. The FBAs are the ones who started, like.
Wait a minute. Talk to me about this, Queen. Talk to me about that. So when you say this fraudulent stuff, are you talking about are you talking about the illegal immigrants per se? Like, what specifically are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Somalia 18 billion in childcare learning with no end. I'm talking about the Gavin Newsom gave $5 million to his wife's nonprofit and said that she was going to fix homelessness or whatever. I'm talking about all of this stuff that's coming down now, that's all of a sudden coming out now. This is all a part of the string that the FBA pulled. The whole sweater that's unraveling is string that we were silently pulling while everybody was talking about, oh, why don't you protest for ICE? And we were like, ICE I like ice. I like to drink. I like ice in my drink, and then we're just gonna keep pulling it. So now it's going. It's
So
awesome.
I love that because again, it's a part of us taking steps to build our nation.
Mhm.
It's a part of us taking steps to secure our foundation. And really let people know who we are. So let's talk about the ICC claim that was put in.
Yes.
So tell us again exactly what claim that we put in with the ICC, and tell us, I guess, basically what was the specific thing that sparked us to enter the claim that way.
Yeah. Actually, as far as the spark, it's we literally picked up the gauntlet. So I believe in the 60s, Malcolm? Yes, Malcolm X.
Yeah,
Malcolm
Malcolm was
X.
talking about that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's I couldn't remember if it was Martin or Malcolm, and I was like,
It was definitely
uh,
Malcolm. Definitely was Malcolm.
okay. So yeah, he was the inspiration, literally picking up the baton, realizing what was possibly behind his death, realizing that they keep saying that immigrants built this nation. So well, let's find out what the immigrants did and
Hmm.
why the immigrants wouldn't want Malcolm X to go to the ICC.
Hmm.
And so we wrote the 225 emergency quota law. It was
Yes.
very similar to the 1921 quota law that you mentioned, the immigration
Hmm.
ban.
Hmm.
And we submitted evidence to the International Crimes Court of how not not only just how the United Nations as a whole, as a group, as a conservative, how they had participated in genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, but how individually, how each country of the 150 or so or 190 that participate in the United Nations are also individually culpable. So
Hmm.
Shabuzi recently stood up. Now, he wasn't the only performer that night, but he said immigrants literally built this country.
Hmm.
Well, if you came from a foreign land and you took over and became dominant, and then you proceeded to build in a place where there was already buildings, then you colonized. And if you're colonizing in the year 2026, Mr. Shabuzi, that means that you're colonizing on behalf of Nigeria. And that means that we can now follow up by directly charging Nigeria with colonization in the International Crimes Court. So we can start stacking up
Right.
cases.
So you can add on to
Saying,
the claim, like you can add on to the claim. Is that what that
yeah,
kind of like sums up to? So
yeah.
let me ask you about the timeline of when the United States withdrew from the UN. Was it like right before we submitted this claim, right after we submitted this claim?
Not to my knowledge. From my knowledge, from what I understand, we
Hmm.
submitted the claim to the International Crimes Court. We
Hmm.
proved genocide from the both world United Nations and the WHO. Very
Hmm.
important.
Hmm.
And then I think just officially in 2026, the United States pulled out of the United Nations. So it took a
Hmm.
year.
Okay, and that's about how long it takes anyway, because once you file something, you know how bureaucrats are. It takes them
Right.
probably at least 5 to 6 months to even look at what you filed, to even get it. It's in a long line of other filings, so you have to
Mm.
get to it in line, and then once they get to the line, they have to research it and look at it and research the claims,
Yeah.
and then who knows what type of letter may have went out. or bat signal that may have went out that said, hey, this is going on, and then like you said, boom, they withdrew from that. So, we can say that it comes from this, right?
Yeah.
And who knows what they have up their sleeve though, because there's so many angles to this and so many different things that could be going on. But one thing's for sure that we have to remember as foundational Black Americans family is that we really have no friends. So even though we might work with some people politically or be dealing with some type of groups politically, we might have to deal with them and we may have to work with them and stuff like that. But always keep it in the back of your mind that they're not allies to us. We have to be our own allies. We have to read over the paperwork ourselves. Like, we don't have friends. So at the end of the day, where people might say one thing, and they might, agree with us verbally, but behind the closed doors, they may still be supporting policies that go against the things that we're looking for and the things that we're trying to secure for our nation. Because again, we are a nation inside of a nation, and we have to secure ourselves for our descendants, like I just talked about, that are going to be coming in the future, that are going to be looking to the work that we did during this era and say, what did our ancestors do in this era to help propel us forward? And this is why, and that's why it's important that we do the work, you guys, and not just me and Brooke. Whoever, everyone in the audience, anyone that may watch this, if you're a foundational Black American, whatever it is that you deem and you see fit that can help build the nation up for the future is what you should be doing right now. Okay, this is the time that we should be doing this work, because again, we can sit here today and, like she said, we can reference Malcolm X and others, the claim that got put in was, like she said, based on Malcolm X's work with the ICC. He was doing work to try to put a claim in back then. So based on that, picking up the gauntlet, that's why it's important that we do things now, because we have to solidify our future, just like our ancestors solidified the future that we're in right now for us. It may not be the one that they imagine us being in, but it is a future, and we are still here. Again, like I said, we're still here, still we will rise. But if we don't do this now, what are we leaving for our descendants in the future?
Ooh, you know what? Let me say this, and I know we're getting very close soon, but all we want to do is just live a better life.
That's
That's the
right.
same thing that they keep saying that the immigrants come here for. And so that's the same reason why we have to deport them all, because it's time for us to live the better life.
Right. So I want to ask you something too. So like you said, based on the numbers alone, we should be more closer to about 100 million of us here. I think even more than that. Like I really do think it's more of us than that. But okay. But they say on the census, I know a lot, it's like 42 million of us or 50 million of us. Like, we know for a fact, we know our family members. Like, I know a lot of my family members ain't filling out no census. They got that paper and they ripped it up and threw it in the trash. A lot of them, they're like, what the hell? You in my business? You don't need to know who's in my house, So, I think what's happening is they have grossly misaligned how many of us are here.
I think
But I
so.
think a lot of the powers that be actually know, because they keep their tabs. They know how many of us. That's why we see things unfolding the way they are. That's why we see people starting to mention foundational Black America. They know we got the power.
Right.
They know we have the power.
Literally, when you got that glow, it's literally the end of the Bruce Leroy. When you got that glow, we are honing that power now that we know how to use it, and we've seen it being used. Now that we can understand the historical truth about who actually has built things here.
Mhm.
And we now understand that everything from the doorknob to the toilet to the paper towel to the everything we built
Everything.
here, right? Everything good.
Mhm.
Let's be real. Immigrants built everything shitty about America. So pretty much everything about 1964 and to up to right about now. If it's shitty and you don't like it, if your house fell into a sinkhole, okay, if your neighborhood was built in a cancer alley, if your if
That's
your
terrible, by the way. Horrible. Just
if
terrible.
your house, if your neighborhood, oh, in North Carolina, if your house got flooded, your neighborhood got flooded, the levees flooded, all of that, that's immigrants. Yay, that's what immigrants have built.
And I want to go to a quote that you sent me, or something that you sent me earlier, where you said, it is if your home was built in the early 1900s and it's still standing, that's foundational Black Americans built that. But if your property taxes are getting higher for no damn reasons, then you can thank immigrants for that. Now, is that because that they send their money back? Like, what's the science on that? Why that's like that? I think it's
Science, I know. I mean, obviously because they're sending it to Somalia,
somewhere. Yeah, they're sending it to somewhere else, right? Yeah.
right?
And you know what
I
else
don't
I
know.
think? I think they get tax breaks too. So they get tax breaks off of being a minority or a person of color, right? So
Right,
they get all these tangibles and breaks from the policies. And
right.
then with the extra money they do have, it's not going back into the community or just the country, period. It's going outside of the country to go build up another country, basically.
A
Um,
whole other country.
right. And so this is the problem. So this is why there's a lot of different, that could be why we have all these problems with inflation too. I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
money money's not going back to the proper way. It's not being funneled properly. Um,
Right.
and that's just another extra tidbit to add on to the problems that we have here, as foundational Black Americans. Because a lot of us, we still have troubles even trying to buy a home in this country. It's still
Exactly.
redlining. They're still redlining out here, and this is why we got to delineate and get these people up out of here, because they're the ones that are latching on to our benefits. And
Hmm.
it ain't about being mean, but my thing is, if you're so great and you built the country, then why didn't you build your own country?
If you're so great, then you can go home.
Yeah, and build your country up like you claim you did this one, and then not only that, build the country up like you claim you did this one, and then let me see what's in your culture that that uh basically that the globe likes. What's from your culture that the globe is catching on to? What trends have your culture created that everyone globally basically runs to? So when we
Let's
start
see.
delineating,
Yeah.
people can't answer. They can't answer them questions when we start delineating, and that's another reason why they
It's
mad.
enough. All the world, it's so funny. All of the world is basically Shabuzi wrapped up into one.
Yes.
Shabuzi rewrote a song by FBA
Mm-hmm.
in a genre created by FBA,
Mm-hmm.
and got up on a stage that was probably built by FBA, and then said immigrants literally built this nation. Well, thank you so much, Nigeria. We will be adding you onto the list. We'll be adding you to the ICC individually, and we will be talking about how Nigeria's GDP has increased since 1964, how much money you guys have taken from us, and how many rights and constitutional amendments you've benefited from, and blah, 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 and reasons why you can never come back.
Well, I think that's an excellent summary.
Okay.
I really do, because I just get offended when they say they built this country. I did a show on and it was just and I only talked about 11 inventions. I talked about 11 master number 11 inventions by foundational Black Americans. And even in these 11 inventions, they were like 11 major things that we all use to this day. And then actually foundational Black American was the one that invented the platform bed. So the platform bed, like, so everybody if anybody that's watching this or anybody around the world that sleeps at night, I think all of us pretty much sleep at night, right? If you sleep at night, you are enjoying foundational Black American culture. No, because I get tired of these people saying we don't have culture, we don't have this, we don't have that. Well, damn it, if we didn't make it, your ass would be still sleeping on the damn board with springs under it.
If you breathe air.
They try to take so much from us, and that's why we're so proud. That's why we're so loud and proud. I mean, we've always been that way, and we're going to continue to be that way. And it's only going to get worse for people now. So I think the best bet is for people to start respecting us, because that's a major problem with people around the globe with respecting Black Americans because of a lot of the narratives. Whether you want to say because of the narratives that the government and the media have portrayed us as, I really don't care why they don't respect us. I don't. But one thing about it is you're going to start respecting us. And the more that we have more of our brothers and sisters that are doing this AI stuff with the history and getting the real history out there, like, people's eyes are starting to open a lot. They're starting to open their eyes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, hon. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, an alternative, if they're really struggling and they're just like emotionally, they cannot get over the jealousy, they cannot find the humility to just do better, they can go ahead and start packing. There's no reason, if they don't want to respect us, just go ahead and start packing. Just go ahead and sell all your possessions. I think Trump is still paying for people to relocate. You should definitely. There's other countries who need birth rates. So I think China has a huge overpopulation of men and not enough women. Right? Because they were killing the girls back in the day. So now they need more women. So hey, Latinos, this is a great time to make more I don't even know what you call them when you mix them, but that's a great place to go.
Right. And it's funny because it really has to beg the question. Your whole invitation to come to this country because you were told it's the land of milk and honey. And then you're also told, I really believe in the packet, because I said this on the other show I did. I believe they get a packet. And I believe in the packet it says, don't fool around with those Black Americans. The Black Americans this, the Black Americans that. I believe that there's a letter that states it, or it could even be a video. Hell, I don't know. They might have made it out a damn special video, right?
Yep.
And then they come here and they do all this kind of stuff. And then when we delineate, they look at us like we're crazy. But I wanted to bring that up to say, and I'm just going to talk about the diaspora right now. Like, talking about the diaspora right now. The diaspora they've already been delineated.
Yeah.
When people come here or when they're here or whatever, and they're interacting with us, what do they say? I'm a what?
I'm no Black.
Yes.
Exactly. Sorry, I thought that's where you were going.
But you took it all the way to the highest level. But yeah. that shit killed me. But no, you're right. They do say, I know Black. And what do they say? Oh, I'm Haitian, or I'm Jamaican, or I'm Trinidadian, or I'm Tobagan, or I'm Cuban, or I'm Puerto Rican, or I'm Nigerian. That's delineation, people.
And they be
No,
dark.
like where y'all got your education, you know what? You got it from America, and America don't teach you shit. So we're going to teach you right now. When you come here and you do that, and you're waving your flag, and we're fine. We don't care. We're glad you're doing that because you have delineated, and you should delineate so you can talk about the good things that your people have done, so that you can, enjoy those things. That's great for you. But
That's great.
when we do it, why is that a freaking problem, people? Like this is crazy talk that y'all do. Stop saying we're divisive when you divide yourself from us every time you come here and state where you came from and who you are. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. So stop calling us divisive for doing the same thing that y'all come here and do. When we take our power back and do it, it's a problem. You know why? Because you've been taught to punch down on us. You have been taught that we are the punching bag. You have been taught that, oh, you can steal those niggas' culture. They don't have no culture. You black too. So they got all these different ideas in their head. But then when you get here and you get a real one and you get checked on that, now you want to say that we're divisive and we're this and we're that. But nobody was calling y'all divisive when you came over here and divided your damn self from us.
Nope.
That's really
nope.
That's it. That's it right there. So that was the lesson. That was the lesson. You all have already delineated. Yeah, we're late to the party. We'll admit it. We got here a little late, but we here and we ain't going nowhere. And once we say something and once we do something, we make the whole world move, baby. Y'all can't make the world move with what y'all do. No other culture can make this world move except us. We make the world move.
Yeah.
Hard work is the reason that y'all are even here. So you can tell me who makes the world move. You feel me? So all this nonsense, that's why we got to shut them down when they started. I had to check a couple of my girlfriends, and I love my friends like that or not. I'm not, and this is another thing that we got to make a disclaimer. You know what I'm saying? People want to say that we hate the people in the diaspora. No, we don't. Why would we hate you if we fought for y'all to come here? We fought for y'all to come here because we didn't think y'all were going to come here and be on no bullshit. When we was doing that, we thought, okay, they're gonna come here, they black like us, even though they said me no black. We didn't know they was on that me no black shit. If we would have known that, we didn't know. If we would have known that, we wouldn't have fought for them to come here.
Yeah.
Sight unseen, struggling.
We loved them. Sight unseen, we loved them.
And look, the dashikis, like we had our like we're the ones that bigged up African culture. We're the ones that picked up Jamaican culture. We're the ones that talk good about the continent and all that kind of stuff and was Pan-Africans for the longest time. But then when we seen how when y'all came here, y'all's response to that, listen, let me tell you something about Foundation Black Americans. Ain't shit slow about us. We know, listen, we've been dealing with the enemy so long, we know when we have an enemy in our midst. Okay? We've been dealing with enemy energy for so long that we know when we have enemies in our midst. So when you come in here and you're on that me no black shit or me this, and I don't want to just say because I ain't really talking about a specific person, talking about all of them. When you come here and say who you are and all of that, okay, cool, that's who you are, and we see how you treating us. So now we're going to delineate. We're putting our foot down, and you can't ride off of this for free no more. The free ride is over. And now that we put our foot down, you're scared because whatever we say is going to end eventually go. We make the world go round, baby. We got $1 trillion in spending power. If we were to really direct that in the right way politically, you know how much we could get done in this country alone. And what we're doing now. We're doing that right now. You know what I mean? The work ain't done. Still doing the work. We're directing ourselves. And baby, when we get to that promised land, and I'm gonna use that language of MLK, when we get to that promised land where we're in that predicament where we're the one forcing policies because of our spending power, because we could do that tomorrow if we decided, family. If we decided tomorrow, we're gonna take our spending power, shut it down until Trump, whoever, you can say whatever, Congress, this is what we need. If we were to do that tomorrow, we'll get it. Because if we shut the money down, we're the reason that this land is milk and honey, because it's our land. We're the milk and we're the honey. And they don't get that part. See, they don't get that part. We're the milk and honey. That's why they told y'all to come here, because of us. So don't play games with us. Respect us just the same way we respect you. We respected your culture. We respected where you come from. We didn't go to your country and say, you niggas are lazy and you ain't doing this. We're going to take this over and we're going to get this. We don't do that when we go to Africa and we go to the Caribbean. And all. We don't do that. So don't do that. That's disrespectful to us.
We were raised correctly to have manners.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were. But you know what? And it goes so far back. This is who we are as a culture. We are loving people. We are loving people. We always have been. Shit. That's why they was able to keep us as prisoners in wars and enslave us. Because shit, we was damn near letting them do it, like in a way. Like at first sight, because it was like we were so welcoming. You know what I mean?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, we're so welcoming. They're like, they talking shit on us, talking about these dumb. We gonna get them. Like, damn, they giving us the shit. We ain't even got to take it from them. Like, they giving it to us, you know. So
speaking
of
giving it to tendernism, Mr. Tendernism, that whole debacle with that old man and the white dude who owned the barbecue place. He just basically gave away the recipes, gave away the intellectual property, gave away the opportunity to have money, and just kept giving it away. And now I can see how lovingly, so to a fault, how genuinely loving and forgiving and giving, and we're just awesome, heartfelt soul people who people
shit on, who the whole world has shit on. And we're tired of being shit on. And see, this is what happens though, Queen, when if you look at any situation in a school or whatever, and there's a bully and somebody getting bullied. As soon as the person that's getting bullied stands back up for themselves, now they got to get in trouble. This is what this is. We have been getting bullied the whole time from everybody. Punch down, punch down, punch down, punch down, punch down. The minute that we punch up and say, no, we're foundational Black Americans. We built this country. These are our demands. This is what we need. This is what we want. We're standing 10 toes down. Oh, you divisive.
This is our home. It's not a corporation.
Yeah. I love that. I want you to talk about that. Talk about that. Talk about that. Talk about this being our home and not a corporation. Because everybody be like, America's a corporation. And you know, they might have planned it that way, but let's talk about what America really is.
When people say that America is a corporation, they're talking about the opportunity for other nations, which they've done. Other nations, England, France, Ireland gets a lot of money from us. Italy gets a lot of resources and money. They're all talking about how much they can get from us. It's insane. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. Where was I going with that?
I like to say that you know, I really think it's important what y'all have done with the International Crimes Court. Because this is where, like you said, Malcolm had left off. So I think it's really good that we're picking up that torch there. I think that's a great place to start. But just that being said, that's the start of it. There's other things that we're going to need to do simultaneously, you know, to keep things going and keep things popping. And I'm just glad that we have the Super PAC, and we have people like yourself and people, you know, like Tariq and everybody that's a part of the foundational Black American family. Again, this is
all the CJAC and Sons and Daughters, U.S. Freedmen Project. I mean, the Detroit canceled reparations. I can't remember the name of it. Detroit, y'all in there. Shout out. Yep, there you go. Grassroots people there are working very hard in Detroit. So yeah, everywhere. We are everywhere. Like literally,
We're
we are the
everywhere.
globe.
We're everywhere. And we started a wildfire with this. We started a wildfire, you guys. And what happens in a wildfire? It just
Spread.
spreads. It don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
need no air.
Mm-hmm.
Us as a people, we give it breath because we are spiritually tired. We have been through so much spiritually that it's our time to win physically in the physical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our spirits we're at the top level of what one soul and spirit of a people can take. And we're waking up now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's spreading like wildflower. You know what I'm saying? Wildfire. So, like you said, the SJEC, the California reparations, they did good work with getting the FBA delineated language
Yeah.
in the census in California.
Yes.
And California is a really progressive state. So when stuff starts there, it tends to spread across the country eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you see it happen there, there's other, people talking about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, I think I don't think that this two-party system that we have now works for us as FBAs. I think we just need to start our own political party and basically let both of them know, hey, this is our list of demands. You can get on board with it or you can get off board with it. And make our own congressmen, bring our own people up within our own party and start planting some of our own people in there. Because the thing is, too, with the political scale, this is another problem with the immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't rise up and got into political positions, and they're up in there acting like they're representing us as a culture and as a nation, but they're going directly against the values and the views that we hold as a people. This is
Yeah.
a gross misrepresentation. This is a whole new Boston tea market, y'all. This is why they threw the tea back in the ocean, because we're being
Yep.
represented in tax, but we're being misrepresented.
Yep.
We have no
Yep.
representation. We have no friends. So
Oh.
a lot of your youngsters, I know there's people out in the audience with kids, start raising your kids up to be politicians and all that. And, with the spirit of what we need in our community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can make it, yo. Whatever we want to do as a community, we do it. We get it done. I've seen us do it before.
Yeah.
And I know we could do it. So these are just the things that I want to plant seeds in people's heads. Get your kids to start bringing them up, teach them about the political scale, schemes and things. All of our kids don't have to be ball players or rappers. We need
No.
dentists, we need doctors, because guess what? Once we get this thing rolling, y'all, we're going to need people to work in these hospitals that we build. We're going to need teachers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our Black American men are treated like crap. Start learning how to be a teacher, y'all. Start doing things to get y'all skills up, because we can use y'all to help with the kids and all that. Because we know a lot of the women get a lot of the resources. So we get resources, we get jobs more so than a Black man gets. So while we might be out there having to work, the Black man, shoot, no better person than the Black man to help raise a child, like for real. Black
Yeah.
men are they're very good with their children,
They
despite
are.
what a lot of the stereotypes like to say about them. A lot of them are present, and a lot of them are very good with children. Every time I see a Black man teaching or driving a bus or just working with kids, and it just lights my heart. It warms my heart, because they need it, and so do the kids. It's like, so it's a two-way street there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It feeds both of their souls.
yeah, right. So, Queen, is there anything else we want to talk about? Any other different accomplishments or different things that the FBA were instrumental in kind of getting off board in the past year, that we want to kind of bring up?
I mean, those are really huge things. Nothing major. Getting the United States out of the United Nations and the World Health Organization was
Mhm.
huge. activating a freedman status for 2026 with the USDA and
HHS.
That one. That was huge. And so, I guess the only thing that's a kind of a fun, not so serious thing would be that FBA, we were successfully able to get Ebro in the morning show fired from Hot 97.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. What's going on with that? Because I did hear he got fired, but I wasn't sure what was going on or whatever. So how did what did we do?
Well, Ebro is half Jewish, half Black American, he says. So he made a very nice.
But nobody checked that, but we didn't check his paperwork, so we don't really know yet.
Allegedly
Right.
half Black American. And so he made a very nice living for himself in the hip hop industry, feeding off the Black American culture. And yet he would get on Twitter and be very rude to Black Americans. He would talk shit about Black Americans. He would talk shit to Black Americans who would try to correct him and help him to understand some of the things we had to overcome in order for him to be successful. And he had
which
no
he
heart.
Which he should already know. If he was a real Black American, he would already know those things.
And that's why we say allegedly. Because he didn't know. He didn't care. Right.
Right.
And so we wrote a very I would like to say nice article. I think the article was nice in fact that it would, did a job, and it helped people to understand that our ethnicity was a color. It literally, the title was My Ethnicity is a Color, That Color is Black. And in that article, we described and discussed how Ebro in the morning show, are all immigrants. And yet they're feeding off Black American culture. And they are not colleagues. They were colonizers. And so about 8 or 9 months later, their show was canceled. The ratings dropped. People stopped listening to them. And so now Kid Mero, I believe, is going to fill in this spot from what I've heard.
Okay. I don't know who Kid Mero is, but that's okay. But I think that's powerful. But I think that speaks to a lot of the power that, like I was talking about earlier, that we have. So I want to make sure that one thing going away from here, that our family knows how powerful they are, how powerful we are when we come together and we put our foot down and we stand on business and we let people know that we're not playing with them. Just like we did with the delineating movement. Like, people see that it's not a game, it's not a joke. You're going to have to check people, family. Like, there's going to be times that you got to check people. Some of the people might be, your coworkers or just friends that you've had over the years. Because a lot of people may not understand, and then they got to get checked. But just looking at that, this is how much power we have. You know what I mean? So when we get ready and we decide and we want to put that power to a higher use, it's there for us. We may not be at that point and ready for that yet, which is fine. We still got a lot of grassworks, work to do. We're still on the ground, and we're still trying to get things done a certain way. But it may have to come to a point where we do have to use our power in that way. And I just want everyone to be ready for that. And I want us to know that we got to have each other's backs right now. And we do. I think we do. But I just want to reiterate that, because we don't have no friends. We don't have no allies in no area of activity. Not one of the 9 to 11 areas of activity do we have allies or friends. So it's up to us to do what we got to do. So that being said, I got 2 videos that we're going to attempt to share. Okay. And then we can do like a little commentary after it. And I know you got to get out of here. So I'll let you get out of here. So let me try to share the screen. So we're not going to talk for a minute, because when I share the screen and we talk, it's just going to get jumbled. So this thing is a hot mess. Let me get the window up here. and share the audio because I want y'all to be able to hear this. Okay. All right. So let me add this up here. I don't know how big I can make this, y'all. Hold on.
Oh,
Because it's on my Instagram. Hold on.
oh, okay.
Hold on.
By staying home. That's
Hold on. Let me try to rewind it.
Okay.
right. The
I don't
ICE
even-
protests.
I don't-
We are
Let me see if I can rewind it. Hold on. I should have queued it up at first. Hold on.
Hmm.
saving everyone.
Here
By
we go.
staying home. That's right. The ICE protests. We are saving your asses. By not being there. White people, Latino people, even though, yes, they're still targeting you. Asian people. Anybody who is non-black right now has a better chance of surviving an ICE protest because black folks aren't there in large numbers. And before anybody gets in their feelings, relax. This is love. This is strategy. This is chess, not checkers. Because, let's be honest, Trump, ICE, this whole administration, they are real-life racists. Not theoretical, not academic. They've already shown us the tape. They will watch black people show up peacefully, singing gospel hymns, holding hands, praying, marching like we're in a damn church revival, and go, yup, riot, tear gas, deploy everything, not because we broke anything, not because we burned anything, not because we looted a target, simply because we showed up. And let me be very clear, you do not want what they do to us to happen to you. That's why you're acting surprised right now, because what they did to us actually happened to you, and you don't like it very much. ICE protests have been going on for months. Black people collectively looked at the situation and said, you know what? We want y'all to succeed, and don't insult us by thinking we're not smart. We are elite-level geniuses when it comes to surviving oppression. This country trained us like Navy SEALs in racism. Police have been fascist to us for decades. When we protested on camera pew-pewing and chokeholding, we were told we were doing too much. When we said defund the police, y'all said, now hold on. Let's be reasonable. But now defund ICE makes sense. Funny how that works. When we asked to end qualified immunity, we were told cops have hard jobs and split-second decisions. Cool, so do pilots. They still get consequences when they crash the plane. So, no, we're not showing up. Not because we don't care, but because we do. We're still voting, by the way, at higher percentages than you. So stop asking us to show up and get beat, gassed and shot so you can feel brave for the weekend. We deserve a break, strategically and literally, because when black people show up, the batons come out, the gas comes out, the bullets get real. Black people are saving.
Okay. Let's get that down. Hold on. Let me pull it down.
Okay.
Hold on.
Awesome.
Okay, are we back? I think, hold on, let me put this on mute so it
Okay.
doesn't mess up our sound. So I wanted to show that because it's true. Like we're not coming out. And people are mad because we're not coming out to protest against ICE. Well, ICE, listen, like I said before, we're used to getting punched down on. They ain't punching down on us right now. Listen, we not coming out there to get killed for other people who don't give a damn about us, who said that we ain't shit, who said that they built the country over top of us. Like, why would we come if y'all built the country, then what you need us to come for?
If you built the country, then you would have been here since 1776, like me. And I'm not worried about ICE. ICE was created after me. After me and my people.
ICE was created after us. The country was created after our people. We were already here before they even created the country. So we don't
So
have a problem, you know. And again, we're not coming out to fight for the interest of those who have continually punched down on us since they've been here in this country. It's all
mhm,
good to be, when you want to say it's kumbaya and this, but what you say and what you do are two different things. And we look at the
mhm.
actions that you take. We don't look at the things you say. And like I said, we're not dumb, so we see the actions that y'all take against us. So that's why we're not coming out, and we're just don't expect it. Don't expect us to be there. We're not coming. It's y'all's fight. Y'all built the country. Y'all so good at everything. So you should have no problem with fighting against ICE. Like when we come out and fight, we come out and fight. You know what I mean? We get shit
You can do
done.
it.
Yeah, yeah, you can do it. Like they say on that water boy. You can do it.
You can do it.
So
Because
yeah,
we
what did you
won't be there.
yeah, we won't be there. So I'm gonna show one more thing I'm gonna show the video that you sent. Okay, I'm gonna try to cue this up.
Oh yeah, this was very interesting today.
Okay, so let me make sure it's see this one I can bring back to the beginning. The other one I can't.
Okay.
Let's see if this is going to work.
And the black community feels left behind because a lot of these people are, they could use some of that tax money in Chicago to help them.
Just basically made it, both parties have paid, especially Democratic Party, a lot of attention to what black voters want because they're a huge part of the Democratic coalition. And now that's not true. Anyone who says, oh, it's just white racism is, what is your average black person in Chicago, native born, family been here 300 years? What does he think of watching his city overwhelmed with illegal aliens?
Are getting massive amounts of care, right? Free hotel rooms, 3 square meals a day, free medical care. And the black community feels left behind because a lot of these people are, they could use some of that tax money in Chicago to help them. They're taxpayers. They should have the first chance to get some of that help. But the mayor of Chicago just, he's ignoring his own community. And I was up there just over a week ago, and I met with hundreds of people that were up there, and they're suffering because of the decisions to take care of these illegal aliens. I mean, I saw city transit buses parked running fuel as warming buses. How about taking care of the homeless people in that city? But, they'd rather put these illegal aliens in a hotel room at $500 a night in the Roosevelt Hotel in New York City and give them 3 meals a day and give them free medical care.
Let me remove that. Oh, hold on. Let me pause it. It's still going. So that video was very telling, and I know I think that was a little bit of an older video, so I think they're referring to during the election when they were having that big influx of immigrants coming in the country. The Democratic Party, I guess they named, were allowing that influx of immigrants in to get their vote, essentially to secure their vote, because they knew already that we weren't going to vote for them. They had
Right.
already known that they lost the Black American base, so they had to replace that. So they, they basically made a deal with these immigrants where they were basically busing them into America, dropping them off in all the metropolitan cities, which we know most metropolitan cities are filled with Black Americans.
Yep.
They were dropping them off in our cities. They were putting them up in like luxury hotels. Some hotels closed down so these people could be housed there. They were giving them benefits like SNAP. They were getting the food stamps. They were getting vouchers to get their rent paid, so they don't work. And this is, I believe, what they're referring to in this video. And then now, fast forward to now you have all the things going on with ICE, with the new Trump administration coming in to kind of right that shit, because that was wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong. It's wrong. And like he said, we're the ones that built the country. We're the ones who have been getting benign neglect from the political landscape in this country. The policies
From the
have
immigrants running this nation that they claim, let's throw them right underneath that bus. They've been saying that they built it. Well, then the immigrants who built it, they fucked it up. Oops, excuse me, sorry.
No, you're good. You can say that. And they did. And they're politically in place to continue to keep us down. And this is just not right. And this is why I think a lot of people don't understand why Black Americans are taking the stances that we're taking. This is why we're
Yep.
taking these stances, people. Do you not understand everything that we've been through in this country?
They don't.
And then I want to make one more addition to that.
Mhm.
You know, we started out as conservatives. Black
Mhm.
Americans started out as Republicans. We are very conservative people. We are
Mhm.
patriotic people. We love our land. We love our home. We love our family. We love tradition. We're traditional people. So we didn't start getting into that Democratic voting thing until somewhere, it was around the civil rights movement. It was around
Yeah, it was.
that time.
I think it got pushed out. I've
Well, we
seen
got
a
pushed
couple of.
out.
Yeah.
And it was around that time because they were saying, we'll pass these laws for you guys if you guys vote with us. So
Right.
basically they won us over by stating that they would be doing these things to help like uplift our community, but all they did was lie. And instead they took out the whatever they were going to say, African American, Black Indian, because that was a part of the language. That
Yep.
was one of the things in the language. They took that language out at the last hour, and they put
Mhm.
in people of color, and they put in minorities. Those two words they used. Those two
Mhm.
words, it killed the entire thing. And we were so naive then that we didn't pick up on that at the time. And we were
Yeah.
really trusting in our leaders at the time to make sure that didn't happen, but they were compromised, some of them.
Mm.
So it got into this like messy thing now. But now we're getting some straightening done, and people don't like that. See, they don't like it when we do the straightening because that's how you know that we're the people of the land too. That's how you know we
Yeah.
are the milk and honey. Because when we move, mountains move.
Yeah.
No other
That's
people
all.
say that. And as much as people want to talk shit on us and talk down, because like I still be going through it sometimes with the races and stuff. Like I try not to
Mhm.
engage with them too much because I know they're big time wasters, and a lot of their stick online is to come on and waste our time by like
Yeah.
saying stupid little talking points to get us to waste our time to engage with them. So I don't always do it, but shoot, I do it for sport. Like sometimes I do it for sport. I'll go on a post and and I'll say something, and then they get it. Then they come, oh, you black monkey, blah blah blah. And and then I just hit them with the history and just kill them with their own history.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but they still punch down on us to this day. We're
Yeah.
still punched down on. So, we just getting the straightening done. That's all. And people can't handle it. So I think it's a good thing that we're doing this. I love the delineation movement. I love that our people have taken the power back. People can talk about it and say what they want about it, but what you can't do is you can't strip us of the power that we have amalgamated by
Mhm.
naming ourselves. Where we
Pretty much.
recreated the narrative. We recreated the narrative by doing that.
Yes.
Right.
And we're doing something different that we had not done before. So we used to if we didn't have anything nice to say, we wouldn't say anything at all. And
Yes.
so now we're saying the quiet part out loud. We are agreeing. Since immigrants want so much credit for building this nation, then we are going to start telling them exactly what they built and how shitty it is because they built it.
Right. And that I can definitely agree to. And I just got one more video that I want to
Okay.
show, and then we can get out of here because I do want to show this because it really just summarizes everything that we just basically said. Hold on,
Okay.
let me make sure I can start it from the right point. And then I got to reshare the screen because I'm over here doing too much. All right, hold on.
Don't have the whole thing shut down.
Listen, I know it could happen. All right. That's why we got to slow walk this. Hold on. And I don't know
Okay.
why I didn't keep it shared because
Oh,
hold on. There we go. Hold on. Let me see. There we go. One last thing. We're gonna put this up here. I want y'all to hear this, family, if y'all missed this.
Okay.
About slavery, and even if she had always claimed to be an American Black, it's simply factual that she is not a foundational Black American. And again, that is why America has all of these provisions like affirmative action and set-asides and civil rights laws. It is because of the shame and guilt about slavery and Jim Crow, both little democratic enterprises, by the way. So it all has to be spent on Black Americans, not on any loser with a grievance from around the world. And that's what it's become. I listed in that column you mentioned, Peter, because it always makes me laugh that all the good diversity jobs are going to immigrants. There was Claudine Gay, the head of some a lot of the affirmative action programs and there are like 200 affirmative action or DEI administrators. They're Indians, a lot of Indians. And I went through all of the immigrant hosts on MSNBC, and I forget, there are like 8 of them. And 3 or 4 foundational Black Americans. And I know, MSNBC, oh, they're so proud of their diversity. No, it's not about diversity. It's about integrating Black Americans into mainstream American life, and giving them benefits to make up for slavery and Jim Crow. I think, some affirmative action programs went a little far and aren't really helping. But that's what it's about. And we've completely pretended to forget what the point of this was. About slavery and...
I had to drop the bombs on that because she basically summarized everything that we basically been saying throughout the whole show. And
Crazy.
it's true. It's true. She said it. All of this stuff that y'all have been enjoying since 1964, since you was allowed to come, I'll say 68 really, because it didn't happen in 64. Y'all actually didn't start coming here until 1968. So all the stuff that y'all been enjoying since then, that shit was set aside for us. We haven't benefited from none of that. We ain't benefited from none of that. And like she said, this ain't about diversity. It's not about multiculturalism. None of that is about that. This is about foundational Black American blood, sweat, and tears that we have endured, that we have fought for on this land to secure a future for our descendants. Not for people, like she said, any loser from around the world to come here with a grievance to latch on to what we've built.
I wasn't expecting her to say loser. That is 10 billion people, and they're very hungry. A lot of them are hungry. So.
Right. So, that's that. I thought this was an amazing build. I always love when you're here. And we get to chop stuff up. I always want you to be here. So whenever you want to come back on, you can come back on. I almost think, we find time. We need to find time to maybe do these little check-ins, little consistent, and on a consistent basis, because the family's here. They have come out, and they're showing out. They want to know about these things. A lot of this, what we do is therapy for us, right? It's a source of therapy. It's a way that we can come together and we can talk about things, and really just inform the family and make documentation. And you guys are doing the next step in the 70 cap with doing the International Crimes Court, making our statuses be recognized federally. All of this kind of stuff is what you have to do to build nations. And you guys are actually in that developmental phase where you're developing laws, and we're working to develop policies. So it's a dream come true for me, for all of us, I'm sure. And family, I love us. We are the universal supreme. We are the cream that keeps rising to the top. Don't you
Yeah.
ever let nobody, ever, ever, ever let nobody tell us different about who we are, what we stand on, our history, our lineage, everything we fought for. We have always been the good in that good versus evil. We've always
Yes.
been, we've always been that. So I say that to say I love the family, and I just thought this was really just an excellent build. It's 100 years of Black history. You've made Black history. We're making Black history right now. This is something that, again, our descendants can look back and build upon. Listen to the things that we're saying. Listen to, you know, some of the things that we're bringing forth, so they can see with themselves, see for themselves. This is what our people went through. This is why it has to be this way. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And we can never let what happened to us back in 1526 happen to us again, because they came here. We was too nice, y'all. We was too nice. No more being too nice to these people. Check them where they stand. They ain't got no problem checking us and telling us we don't have culture. They don't have a problem checking us and telling us that we don't have history, or we don't have a nationality, or we don't have they don't have no problem with checking us and beating down on us. So every single chance you get, check them.
Or
Check.
telling us that we don't deserve our reparations.
Right. And how dare they?
Hmm.
The nerve. The nerve. That would be like us, like we said, going over when we don't even barely know what's going on in these people's homeland. I don't know what's well, I know some of it, like, so let's take it for example, you know, Jamaica. They are down there being colonized by the Chinese people as we speak. But yet
Oh,
you
there's
have come to America to punch down on us and tell us we don't have a culture. Our culture is letting your ass come here. That's our culture. Our culture is freedom and liberation and freedom fighting and standing on business and doing what's right. That's our
it
culture.
was. It was.
Right.
Now our culture is sending you back.
Yeah. And listen, you should thank us for that. Take a page out of our book. Thank us for that. Take a page out of our book and go back to your homeland and take it back.
Yep.
Take it back. Go build your homelands up. Everyone. I want everyone to do that, because if we all do that, then everybody will have what they need. And then you can stop coming here punching down on us to get what you need. That's not no way to be. You don't supposed to punch down on other people to get what you want. That's not cool.
Yep. In fact,
not
you know
cool.
what? Let me tag on to that. So their countries, if their countries were bombed, they say, "Oh, the United States bombed our country." Oh no, not the United States. The immigrants running the United States bombed your country. The Ellis
Right.
Island Europeans at the helm of the control of the United States, they bombed your country.
That's
So
a good fact to point out.
okay.
And I
You
think
said
it was
immigrants built this
interesting to do a
nation.
study on the people in Congress and the Senate to see what their backgrounds are. I think we could probably do an episode on that.
Well, I do know like they had the Reuters had an article about who was a descendant, and most everybody was a descendant of slave owners.
See, that's in the Congress, right? That's in the government.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
believe so.
Yeah, and I believe that, because look, they still ain't giving us nothing. They still denying us, just like they did our ancestors. But it's okay.
It's okay.
We standing 10 toes down now, so it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm looking forward to now is more foundational Black American camaraderie, more foundational Black American getting together to get policies written.
Yeah.
You know, to push our narrative, to push what we need for our community. So right now, family, look around your community, think of the things that you need and write them down. Think of the things that you need for your community, or we need as our community, and write them down and get them down on paper, you know, and then start looking at little steps that you can do to work toward those things. You know what I mean? Obviously, Rome ain't built in a day, not that we want to use Rome, but nothing's built in one day. Everything takes time to build. But it starts with taking that first step. So take that first step and start writing down the things that you think can enhance our nation, the things that we need to solidify ourselves. And then let's go to work, family, because just like our ancestors built this nation, we can rebuild this nation in our likeness.
Every good construction project starts with a demolition.
Yeah,
I
listen,
think they said that.
they did say
Okay.
that. And in order to build, something got to be destroyed. So we gotta go forward. And so I really want to thank you, Queen, for coming on. Do you got any last words that you want to say, or anything coming up, or anything you want to plug, or anything?
I just want to give a shout out to everybody, all the grassroots people, people at Freedmen Nation, CC, Arthur Walkers Jr., Don, the people of CDAC, and is that me?
That's me.
Oh,
I'm giving applause. I'm applauding the people. That's what I was looking for when I introduced you. That's what I should have had ready, but I didn't have it ready.
I thought somebody was scratching or something else. It's not my cat. The U.S. Freedmen Project in New York, and Brooke, and Brother Divine, I believe his name. Like, just everywhere from coast to coast. We're in Florida. Just everybody, all the grassroots activists. I can't think. I should have prepared a thing, but I just want to give a shout out to everybody who's grassroots, who possibly has turned in. Excuse me. And who is continuing to. Thank you. Continuing to do this. We need each and every one of us in this every single day, and we appreciate all of you for giving your time, your energy, and your strength to helping us. Right? So thank you always.
Thank you. Definitely thank you. Big shout out to the grassroots. Without y'all, none of this is possible. The delineation is not possible. But the grassroots is a testament to a people that are tired, a people who have been spiritually spent. They have been spiritually beat up, and their spirit is no longer taking it. So that's how the grassroots movement is born. And we mean business. Continue to mean business. Continue to put it down for everybody. They're saying Detroit grassroots, St. Louis grassroots. That's right. We're going to name them all. California, Chicago, Detroit, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, Delaware, everywhere, Texas, Philly. We're all over the globe. We're all over the nation, guys. We're all over. So God bless the grassroots. I met quite a few people when they did the reparations rally a few years back. I'm hoping to have more rallies like that and more things that we can do when the weather starts breaking to come together. Just have our camaraderie as a people, because that's important. It's important for us to continue to come together as a people to support each other. So again, I want to thank all of those people that the Queen think. I also want to give a shout out to Melrose Mike up there in New York. I want to give a shout out to Cool Colas down there in I think he's in South Carolina. So yeah, these brothers are, a part of the grassroots, and they're doing the work. And I just want to salute everybody that's really putting it in, especially you, and the Blood Pack, and Arthur, and everyone who's putting in the work. This is what it takes, you guys. So where one person don't have that strength, we got someone else that does. So that's what it means when we come together. That's how they built Black Wall Street. They came together, and the people who could do this, that's what they did. People who could do that, that's what they did. And then we just shared with each other. We bought from each other, and we built each other up. And that's how Black Wall Street, the reason they burned it down, because it was already over a millionaire community. There was already over a millionaire of a community, and they can't have that. So but this is a new day, and we're not letting nobody punch down on foundational Black Americans again. So we won't repeat that part of history. Never. So, great show. This was a great build. I'm very pleased and very happy that you're here. I always
Thank
love building with you,
you.
Queen.
Yeah.
Can't wait till we could get in person. Like I said, we got to get in person and
Yeah.
build some more. But very good, excellent, and until we meet again, you guys make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'm going to be doing, of course, we're back, Justice on Earth. I'm seasonal because I got a lot of projects that I work on. And you can always follow me over at Numeralytics if you want to know more about numerology and about esoteric knowledge and astronumerology and spirituality. I'm doing all that over there on my Numeralytics channel. I do some of that over here, but BTV is for our Black education, so we can
Okay.
empower true vision for our descendants, so they can have a solid foundation to build on as they move forward. Because we won't be here
Excellent.
forever. So good job, Queen. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the show.
Thank
Queen, don't go
you.
nowhere. Stay right there so we can have a small discussion before we close out the night. I want to say peace and power to the foundational Black American nation. Happy Foundational Black American History Month, that we turn into Black History Year. Of course, we do this every day, 365. Peace and love, kings and queens up to the nation. We out.